Hola clase. We're going to discuss the preterite of stem changing verbs. Previously, we learned how to do the preterite, the base preterite for all verbs AR, ER, and IR. And we did learn that the stem change does not carry over in AR and ER ending verbs. Now remember that the stem is the beginning part of your verb. That's the thing where we learned that, for example, the verb preferir becomes prefiero. That syllable before the last one changes from an E to an IE or an O to a UE. And so we have those changes in the present tense that did not carry over previously or change at all in the preterite tense. But now we're going to learn that IR stem changing verbs do have some peculiarities or some changes. They're not exactly the same changes as the present tense. So look at the chart below, pause the video, and you're going to write out these verbs. The verb servir, to serve, in el pretérito becomes yo serví. So that's just like the regular preterite. Tu serviste, again like the regular preterite. But look at the third person form. Usted, él, or ella sirvió. Sirvió, the E changed to an I. Now, just like in the regular preterite tense, the nosotros and the vosotros forms look exactly like the present tense and do not have any changes. But then look at the plural third person. It's sirvieron. The E changed to an I. That doesn't happen in the present tense, but it did happen here in the past tense. Now look at the verb dormir, to sleep. Yo dormí, we no longer have the stem change, and we have the regular I with an accent as the ending. Dormiste, it's regular, just like other preterite. But now look what happens in the third person singular. Okay, instead of duerme, we have dormió. The present tense was duerme. Here we have dormió. That O changes to just the U. The ending, however, stays the same. Dormimos and dormistes is the same, no change there. And then we have dormieron, again in the third person, but this time plural. The O has changed to just a U. Make sure you highlight that in some way in your notes. Okay, so stem changing IR verbs in the preterite only have a stem change in the third person. That means when we're talking about él, ella, or usted, singular, or the plural, ellos, ellas, ustedes. Those changes are going to be that the E will change to an I, or the O will change to a U. So look at the two examples that they've given you for verbs. The verb pedir, to ask for. If I said, he asked, pidió. They asked, pidieron. The same thing is true of to die. If I said he died, I would say murió. If I said they died, I would say murieron. Murió, murieron. El camarero pidió, perdón, ¿quiénes pidieron? So the waiter asked, excuse me, who asked for the corn tortillas? Look at the second one. El camarero pidió, ¿y qué plato pidió usted? So the waiter asked, and what plate did you ask for? What dish did you order, in other words? And so those are both examples of using pedir in the third person. Now it's your turn. There's a lot of verbs here. They've done it with just the verb servir, but I want you to go ahead and do 1 through 7 and write out the form for each one of the verbs listed. Remember, if it is stem changing and it is reflexive, let's look at one. In number 2, you have usted, so you have sentirse, right? So this one is you're going to take the se off and put it in front, so it's going to be usted se. You're left with sentir, so it's going to change to sintió. Make sure that you do that S-I-N-T-I-O with an accent. The same thing is going to be true of despedirse and vestirse, so please pay special attention to those reflexive verbs that you use the pronoun the way we learned in Chapter 7. All right, buena suerte y hasta mañana.